Yes guys, I'm back with another one. It's going to be going through BTC dominance, USDT dominance today, total 2, total 3, others dominance. Have a little look at BTC, see what's going on with BTC. We're going to go through a few gaming coins, AI coins, and just to see where we're at in the market. I know a lot of people are probably going to be getting worried right now with BTC dominance pushing up slightly. Significant area at the minute, what did act as a resistance and a support previously. So we're going to have a little look at that and we'll go from there, and just generally looking at all the altcoins, see what's going on. So yeah, let's get straight into it guys. So I'm on dominance at the minute. This was expected in dominance, because if you have a little look here on the daily, we're in a fairly big range there in BTC dominance. That's the range that we're in. We've got a level here that I've marked out around between 56 and 55, where we're having a lot of action in this area. So what we want to see is, in dominance, we do want to see it sort of like get rejected from this area and then push away from that. Then we'll probably start to create another range and then push away from that. That's what we're looking at. I've got a main area that I've had marked out for a while now. That's the weekly level. We've got another weekly level up above us. Daily levels. These are the daily levels that we're in. We could even deviate back to this daily level. Something like this, and then do that. That's what we're looking at potentially in dominance. But like I say, this level that I've got marked out at the minute is a fairly significant level where we do want to see some sort of rejection in BTC dominance. This is on the daily time frame. I've got a monthly zone which is up above us, which is marked out near enough the same as the daily level. So if you are in trades, don't worry too much, as long as you've got decent stop losses in, and you take profits. I'm still in the trades that I've got. I'm not too worried about them. I'm in 4 trades at the minute, long trades. If I get stopped out, I get stopped out. That's why we've got a stop loss there. But I do think at some point we are going to start to break down in dominance around this area here, and then push through that, and then go down to around the 46 level, which is around here, what I've got marked out in my monthly zones. Like I've said before, your higher plays are gonna be your bigger time frame areas of interest. So this is a weekly area of interest, what I've and a daily area of interest, what I've got marked out at the minute. So keep your eye on that before opening new positions as of yet. Let's go into the USDT dominance to have a little look at that. Yeah, we've got levels here on the USDT dominance where we have had a lot of action in these areas prior. It's at the value area low. We do want to see USDT dominance. It could potentially test that. We want to see it getting rejected off that point of control, and then eventually break down, retest, and then go again. That's what we're looking at in USDT dominance for this altcoin rally to continue, which would be lovely. But there's always something like this to occur, and then a breakdown. So we're going to have a range. We are creating ranges at the minute. and we want to break away, you know, we want to break really that way. We don't want to start to break that way, because altcoins are going to get hurt a little bit. So we've got this others dominance, I think. Yeah, this is others dominance. As you can see at the minute, others dominance is still inside this range in between the value areas. We've got, let me just pull my other chart across 1 second. Pull my other chart across. This is the 4 hour on BTC dominance. You know, the RSI did come down low and it is starting to push back up. You want to see something like that, midpoint, and then fall away, which will probably line up with what I've just said. So let's go to the others dominance. Well, I'm at it. I've got levels marked out here. Significant level of interest was here. You can clearly see that, where we've had a lot of consolidation prior. Really, we don't want to be breaking down here. We've got weekly levels. We want to keep above this weekly level, really, and then push out of this zone. That's what I'm looking at. Monthly levels, we do have another monthly level down here, but I don't really want to see something like that. We have deviated prior, and then we have reclaimed fairly quick. That's what we want to see. We want to see it reclaim this area fairly quick and start to push and get above that and go towards these areas here at around 14% in others dominance. Really, that's what we're looking at. Total 3, if we can hold this level here on total 3 at 105 trillion, then we've got a potential move in this, pushing away. That's what we want to see. Oh, you know, it won't be one of my videos without that. We want to see it push away from this zone. It could come back down into here, but we want to hold these zones, really. We don't want to start deviating back inside these zones. So there's your point of control at the minute. You know, your value areas. We don't really want to be pushing back down into there, because altcoins will take another little bit of a battering if we do push back down into them areas. But the way I'm seeing it at the minute, we potentially are going to drop into these areas. We really want to reclaim this point of control and break out of that area for a move out. If we don't, and we start to deviate below, we've got a potential of coming back to this value area low here and then going off again. This is going to be your areas to start building longs in this zone around here if we do start to push down into this area. But this week we might have a bit of a consolidation coming in. So, you know, if you are in longs, try not to worry too much. Like I say, as long as you've got a decent stop loss, you should be okay. You know, we've got inflation rates coming up on the 12th, 11th, which is in 2 days. On Wednesday, we've got all this data coming out. So just remember that as well. We've got total 2, something very similar. I haven't marked out my levels, but we have got something very, very similar where we have been rejected from this zone before. So I would be careful what we're actually doing this week, as in trading wise. You know, we've got this zone here, what we're in at the minute. We've got a couple more zones below us around this area here. We really want to be holding these zones on the weekly. so we can have a little bit of a push off in these altcoins. Let's have a little look. So yeah, as you can clearly see, everything is red at the minute. These are your buying opportunities. A lot of people will be worried seeing the coins in red and probably start to close a position, which is going to cause, you know, a market buy and then a potential push off. So I'm looking at IMX at the minute. It has fallen back inside the value area. We really didn't want to fall back inside the value area, but if we can start to get bought back up in these value areas, would be lovely. At the minute, we have got a small fair value gap there on the weekly, which is going to be around this area here. You're looking at about $1.08 in IMX for a possible long. Keep an eye on that. I have got levels marked out on here. We've got weekly zones. We've got your daily levels, which does align with it at around $1.08. We've got weeklies, which do align with it as well. So, you know, around these areas, possible longing opportunity in IMX. Like I say, this is just me using, you know, price action and the way it's moving. We've got previous weekly low here. But I really do think we're going to start to push off soon in most of these altcoins. We've got sand. If you know, just have a look at sand on the weekly. This here where we are at the minute on sand. Let me just remove them key levels a minute. If you have a look at sand, this here is a great play. For me personally, me looking at something like sand here is something that I would want to play. So if I'm looking at sand, I'd probably start to build a long position where we're at the minute. My stop's going to be below that point of control there, because we don't want to deviate that low down into that point of control. And look at the areas that you've got. We've not taken out this liquidity. You can probably take 50% off there. There's your main point of liquidity in sand, which is going to be an absolutely ginormous trade. Today, I might start to build a long in sand to see where we're going. You can clearly see the volumes coming back in here. If we can get up outside there, let's get this volume profile. Let's have a little look. You know, your point of control around there on the next sort of volume profile there. And then if we have another little look a bit further up at this volume profile, you know, it aligns up perfectly with around $3. So if you're looking at something today, look at sand. Could be a great play. Could be a very, very good play. Monthly, you know, this is literally something that I'd be looking at, and I possibly may take a long today. Sand, we're holding above that weekly zone, which is absolutely beautiful as well. Daily levels, we have deviated below that daily level, but I'm not too worried about that. Weekly levels, as long as we can hold this weekly level, we're looking good. And then we've got your monthly levels where it has been rejected from. But like I say, if we're having a look at weekly zones, if we can get back up above this area here in this monthly, we're going to potentially take off. Like I say, we're going to get a lot of consolidation this week. My personal opinion. So I'll be looking at something on sand, possibly going long. Gala, possibly another good play here in Gala. I'm not too keen on Gala. No, we're holding above that daily level fairly well. We got rejected from that weekly zone, possibly pushing back down into here at about 4418, and then you can take your long. Weekly levels, we're holding above that weekly level. Monthly zone, we're inside that monthly zone where we could potentially push off. monthly levels. If we can get back up above that monthly level, you know, if we deviate below here and then start to fire away, holding this consolidation and then fire off, that's the sort of play that you want to be looking at. We've got some liquidity line there, we've got some liquidity line there. That's without even looking there at the minute. You know, this could be a potential good long. Most altcoins are going to run anyways, but if you're looking to build a long, Gala could potentially be long below that point of control, reaching out for that high-end liquidity up above us there. Another great trade. This is where I think that most of these gaming coins are potentially going to start to take off. I'm going to put a little disclaimer in there, you know, not financial advice, but I'm possibly going to start to build some longs on these coins. We've got Beam. Just going to scan through them right quick. Beam, not really a play that I want to be taking. It's already had a great move, so I wouldn't really be touching Beam at the minute. EGLD, possibly another great play. Weekly levels, back down into here, about $46, and then a fire off. That's what I'll be looking at in EGLD. Then we've got weekly zones. You've got your monthly levels where it has previously been rejected from before. Monthly zone, you know, we may deviate below this monthly zone, reclaim it fairly quick, and then off we go. So these are some of the plays that I'm going to be looking at today. We're above that daily level as well, which is giving me, you know, these levels that I'm marking out here, they're giving me confluence. Even looking at the key levels, you know, the previous weekly lows here, the previous monthly lows here, previous daily low we've took out. We've not taken out the previous daily high, but this is probably an area where you want to be looking at. You know, I can even get my fib level from the swing low to the swing high. You know, and your area of interest is around here, which is about $35 in EGLD. But if you're going to be taking that play, I don't think it's going to deviate that low. That's my personal opinion. You know, Fibonacci levels, you're looking at around $39-40, which will align up perfectly with what you want to be looking at. So if you start to build a long in there, you know, your stop's going to be down there, and you're going to be reaching out for all this high-end liquidity here, because there's a lot of the liquidity up above us in these altcoins. You know, that's a 1 to 10 there, and it may take a few months to play out. You know, you're aiming for that there. You know, it's not just going to play out overnight. It may take a few months to play out, but I don't mind holding my coins for a few months. I'm really not worried about it at all. So that's a potential long in EGLD. We've got Mana. Same again, if you just look at these ranges that we're in, these are going to break away at some point. You don't want to be the one like this move here in 21, where we consolidated inside this value area. We never even deviated back below to this area here, and then it absolutely, you know, in 1 month, well, not even a month, in a week, 1 week, that coin there went 650%, and everybody were like, oh, I wish I'd have held my long. You know, this game's not about wishing. This game's about looking at your high-end plays and thinking, right, you know, is this a trade that I potentially want to be taking? You know, we want to see it. If we can get an inside candle here and it holds inside that area there, this is going to be a good time to take a long in these coins. You know, you've got your monthly levels there. We're inside a weekly zone. We're at a weekly level. We're inside a monthly zone. We're at a daily level. You know, these plays are going to be big plays if they play out. You know, like I say, this game is probabilities. You know, and if you're starting to build a long in this, you know, to be safe, you're going to be putting it down there. You stop loss. But you're going to be targeting out this high-end liquidity, which is around here, which is an absolute monster of a trade. And if it plays out, it's going to play out quick. And that's in mana. So keep your eye on mana as well. Super, I'm probably not going to be playing super. I have got levels marked out on super. But super's already had its move. You know, I won't be touching super at the minute. Just remove that for 1 second. So we've got another player on the weekly here. Yeah, I want to remove that, yeah. So if we can hold in this, above this area, I've got areas marked out. This is on XAI. I've got daily levels. We have deviated below that daily level. I've got a weekly level. We have deviated below that weekly level. But we're in a weekly zone. We're in a really good weekly zone at the minute in this coin. There's a small fair value gap at around 33985. So if we can start to build our long positions around this area here, and our stop's going to be below that area there, we're aiming for the high-end liquidity, which is still around a 1 to 4, which are absolute monster trades in these coins. A lot of people will worry, you know, when they see it start to do something like this, and they're like, oh, it's just a round entry. But do you know this is what this is creating here? This is creating people going longs and shorts, longs and shorts, longs and shorts, and once it fires quick, and it takes out all them. So once it comes back up their stop losses here, what they'll start to do is they'll be closing them as quickly as possible, thinking, it's not going to break. It's somewhat similar to when you're creating a range anywhere, and it starts to fire away from that range, and it comes back to retest. It's going to move like that. You know, like I've said previously, trading is easy. It's complicated by us. We complicate trading. I don't complicate it. I look at levels of interest and think, right, is that a high-end play? Which it is. So I'm potentially going to be looking to take some of these coins I'm showing you now this week. This is what I will be looking at. We've got ILV. Let's have a little look at ILV. You know, these are my daily levels in ILV. Daily zones, daily levels. We've got your weekly zones, and we've got your weekly levels. So these are where I'm going to want to start to build positions in these plays. You know, it's probably going to do something like this for a while, and then once it starts to fire, either way, once it starts to fire, I'm either going to be taking my longs or my shorts. I'll be watching this range that we're going to start to create inside this coin. You know, the altcoin rally has just started, and it's one of them things that, you know, this is why, don't get me wrong, the RSI is a very good tool, and it will show you, but we are not up at these levels. In the RSI now, if you're having a little look at the RSI, we're nowhere near the levels of where we were previously, where we've dropped away from it. This is like, in March, we are up high here, but these are the times where you want to start to build your longs in these coins. So I'll be looking at ILV as well, and then every time I do that, I don't know why, it's just one of them things. Let's get some levels up. I haven't marked out the levels then, Enju, but you know, this point of control, if this acts as a support and we start to, you know, chop around here and we break, we're gonna break fairly hard. You know, it's the same scenario here, and we're gonna start to break really hard in these coins. So keep your eye on these. Yes, on the weekly, the RSI does look like it's, you know, as people would say, overbought. But if you have a little look at the volume that's coming in at the minute. Look at that volume. I know we're at the beginning of the week, I know that. But if you're having a little look at this volume here, and if we go back to last Monday, look at the volume that came in. You know, look at the amount of volume that started to come in. And we've seen it prior, you know, where volume starts to dip. Big spike, volume starts to dip, and then it starts to fire away. So, you know, you've got another high-end play here as well in Ducoin. There's another one that I wanted to look at. Is it Wild? It's already played out. I've not really got much more data on it. You know, I've got 4-hour levels, but I haven't really got a lot of data on this. But same with this coin here. You know, it's in a range, and it could be a high-end play in this coin as well, Wild. Like I say, we can't really see much data on this coin. But, you know, if we're having a little look, you know, this is potentially where you want to start to build a long in this coin here. That's what I'll be looking at doing. And then, obviously, if you go into your fibs, if we have a look at the 168, the 268, and the 368, if we have a little look at that, let me just move that a second. I don't know why that's not coming up at the minute. Did it add it? Oh, that's why, because I've got it all greyed out. Might help if I actually get it up a little bit, you know. Let's have a little look at the 168 and the 368. You know, this is how you're going to be looking at your targets in this coin, which will be another absolute monster trade. You know, if you're starting to build your longs around this area here, it's going to be another big trade for you to take. So going from that swing, from the swing high down into the swing low, this here is a potential longing area in this coin where we're at the minute. We're in the golden pocket zone. If you want to be a bit more conservative, have your stop loss below that area there. You know, and this is where you want to start to take some profit off the table at a 168 here, 268, and the 3618. That's a potential long on that coin there. That coin got brought to my attention by somebody, I can't remember who it was, but it got brought to my attention, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to have a little look at that. This is meme coins at the minute. You know, meme coins have took a little bit of a shit, not to worry about. Like I say, most people are going to be getting really paranoid about it, and they're going to be like, oh no, it's dropping, it is dropping, yeah, but you know, the gains that we had last week compared to what's going on at the minute, it's not really dropped that much, has it, if you're having a little look. And this is the gaming sector. Floki's something that you really want to have a little look at. I will have a look at Floki. AMX, I've already gone through that, and Sand. You know, these are going to be my two main plays that I'm going to be looking at. IMX and Sand. I'm going to be looking at EGL and Mana as well at the same time. I'll just chart up Floki right quick. So Wild, keep an eye on that coin there. Let me chart Floki, and then I'm going to get out of here, guys. Floki, P. Just do it on Mex. Let's have a little look. Floki's got a lot of data, actually. I didn't think it'd have so much. Let's go into the weekly a second on Floki. So if you're looking at Floki here, we're above this value area high. And it has got a potential to take out this high in liquidity. So, me looking at Floki, and we get our fibs, just have a little look. You know, this is your golden area where you want to be trying to take a long in Floki. We don't really want to see it deviate back below this area, really. You know, we could do, we've seen it do something like this, a consolidation, and then a fire out. You know, like I say, I don't really chart meme coins that much, but they seem to be the high-end players at the minute. So Floki is something that you might want to be looking at if you want to take a long in Floki at the minute. You know, this is your area where you want to be going long. And we've got some targets. Target there, 039,505, 57263, and possibly the top of Floki, 74504. So keep an eye on Floki as well. And that's going to be it from me. I'm going to just look at one last thing before we go, if I can find it. I'm going to look at the funding heat map as well. I might as well have a little look at the funding heat map. So if we're having a look over 30 days, the funding heat map is not that bad. If we have a look over the year, you know, it's flushed a lot of this funding out. If you have a little look here, look at the funding. A lot of it's been flushed out. So, you know, it's nothing like it was in February and March. Nothing at all like it. Look at it. You can clearly see it's nothing like that at all. So don't worry. I really won't worry. Where's the long to short ratio? You know, this is just the start of the week where we've got the inflows. This is the ETF inflows on BTC. Can we get Ethereum? I will go through that on another day, but you know, like I was saying, funding rate, I really won't worry too much about the funding rate. You know, let's go to 3 month on Bitcoin. You know, we have got a fair amount sat around here, but now what we're getting, people are starting to build shorts. You know, and that could really cause a big move up in Bitcoin. You know, it could deviate to around 97, 96, but we have had a major flush out. See all this here, what was here, it got flushed. We have got a load of liquidity line below us, but you know, when people start to build shorts, it's going to cause one of these sort of moves where it's going to start to wipe out all this, and people are going to continuously keep building shorts up here in these areas, and it's going to cause something, you know, a flush up or a flush down in these areas here. So keep an eye on them. Longs versus shorts, let's have a little look here. Longs versus shorts, and at the minute, this is what I'm saying, you've got people building shorts up here. In most coins, people are building shorts, which is going to cause, you know, some sort of liquidation to occur, and it's going to happen soon. So I'd keep your eye on that. But anyways, that is it from me. Don't forget, I've got links to CWP. I've got links to James's Baccarat indicators. I've got a link to Slim's bots. Like I say, they're always printing. I've also got my link to buy me a coffee. I'm going to also put something in there where you can donate in crypto if you want to donate in crypto, because I think some people were asking about that as well. And that's about it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, guys, and I will catch you in the next one. Happy trading.